Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video. This is WOR round number 6, if I remember correctly. It's that point of the championship where I start forgetting what round we're at. It's actually round 6, I'm correct. And as you can see, we are behind Ismail Fassi by 16 points. So we've got some work to do after Mexico. Ismail didn't even drive in Mexico actually, but we barely gained any points. I think we finished P8. Or P9 because we had a very poor race. But today we're going to try and turn that around ahead of Brazil. As Chanakinti goes to provisional P1 in Q1. And yeah, this is our first Q1 lap. And I hope our only Q1 lap, as we're going to try and go into Q2 on a single set of tires. No rain expected this qualifying or this race. So it's gonna stay completely dry as we go through the final corner up to the line, all flat out, and hope we don't derate, run out of battery energy up to the line. You can see it's actually just about perfect. 1 little millisecond we went into derate, and that's perfect. So P8 in that session only did a single lap there. And that means we got 2 new sets of tires for Q3, which is crucial if you want to fight for pole position. And out in Q1 were Ben Sabo, Conny, Kai Pearson, Ruben Pedreño, Luke Smith, and Patrick Sipol. So Alpine Esports not doing any lap times here in Q1. Well, Ruben actually did an intermediate lap, but into Q2 we go. I think Jake had some wheel issues, and that's why he was struggling a little bit here in Q1. Not sure exactly what the issue was, but he did make it through by half a tenth, so quite big gaps actually between P1 and P17 there. As we go across the line on our used set of tires run, it is P1 on used tires. So is the rest of the grid, so they're all on used tires, so nothing special there, but the past few qualifying sessions, it's kind of been a trend that I've been really fast on used tires, and I don't know why. I had this on F1 2021 as well. I remember Monza F1 Esports, I set a lap time, a banker lap, which was actually fast enough for pole position, I think so, on used tires. And then I went on new tires, and there was a potential 2-3 tenths to gain. I just didn't gain it. Did still get pole position that qualifying, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's just I'm so much more comfortable in used tires in the F1 games because the car just rotates so much better. And I think for that reason I'm also just better in the race, you know. Car just rotates better on used tires, and that's why I'm so much more comfortable in the race. So purple in this Q2 lap. This is our final run in Q2. And yeah, being 1 turned up in P8, we are one of the last to cross the line, I think so. I'm not sure, but we go P1 anyway, with a 107.037, and yeah, by half a tenth P1, which is quite a lot to run Brazil, so quite happy with that lap. Jake out in Q2, Isvan Puki out in Q2, Duncan Hovland, Daniel Kjeldsen, and Chanakinti all out in Q2 here. And yeah, from P2 to P10 actually within a tenth. I'm not sure what the P11 lap time was, but it was fairly close. And even though our banker lap on used tires was fairly good, it would have not been enough to get into Q3. So through the final corner we go. It's a 50.294 split going into the final corner. And as you can hear me say there, poor last corner, I was not really happy with that final corner. With a little bit of hesitation, not great rotation, and up to the line it's a 106.965, right behind our championship rival Ismail Fassi. And for this final run we got another new set of tires, so here we go again, another new set of tires, and to try and gain some more lap time out of this one. Good gain through turn 1, almost 300s gain through there. The delta is slightly wrong as we started the lap with being 2.5 down, so realistically around half a tenth up, but unfortunately again just couldn't get the car rotated in there. Didn't want to stick, and yeah, that's a tenth gone, over a tenth gone, 1.5 tenths gone there, and that is just not ideal. So this is going to be very difficult to make up for in such a short amount of time. One of the shortest tracks on the F1 calendar, and pole position is slipping away at the moment. A lot of people still improving as well. We are already down to P7 as Philip Racinator goes P1, and we're 1.3 tenths down going into the final corner, and we're just not going to be able to make up for that again. Poor last corner. And yeah, after being basically the fastest of all qualifying session, it comes to the final Q3 run and it's just not good enough. Only P8, and yeah, balance was just off. P8,
everyone out of your hearts.
Championship rival starting right ahead of us though, so that gives me hope. And we are going to be starting on the soft tires here in Brazil for round 6 of WOR, and of course it's going to be a great getaway on those softs. And into turn 1 we're going to go down the inside of our championship rival, up to P6 for now. So 2 positions gained off the line as Alfie and Alvaro go side by side, so they open the door for me, and up to P4 we go. And that's within 2 corners. We've gone from P8 to P4 on the grid, so it's been a perfect start, a dream start to this race. And now we need to pick them off one by one in the next 2 laps and try to break that 1 second window, so no one behind me is getting DRS. Down the inside of Shanaka Clay we go. I've gone a little bit deep. Might have actually hit Shanaka slightly there, but around the outside we go. He gives us just about enough space on the exit, and up to P3 we go. And now we are right behind Thomas and Philip Racinator. I think both of them qualified P1, P2. So let's see if we can get him in the next lap. And then we've got another lap to break away from the DRS. So in the slipstream, into turn 1. It's quite far to go from it back here, but Thomas stays behind Philip, and we go down the inside into turn 1, which turns to the outside for the next right, and then Thomas leaves us just enough space on the exit, and up to P2 we go, as Otis Lawrence has retired from the session, and safety car has been deployed.
We can't, right? It's safety car.
Yeah, as you can hear me ask my engineer, can we go to the end on hards, and that is not possible from here. Too many laps, too much tire wear to do that, so I'm gonna stay out. Thomas does box from hard, so he's going for a 2-stop for sure. He will definitely not even try to go for a 1-stop. And now
could have overtaken like 4 cars.
I almost drove into the back of Philip as I was not focused on the road at all. Yeah,
nearly crashed. Not sure if you saw.
Yep.
So yeah, suboptimal scenario there, but this safety car has helped us slightly, simply due to the fact that doing soft-medium strategy is tricky on tire wear. You have to extend the first in to the point where you don't want to extend it. As we go down the inside of Philip into turn 1 as expected. Now it's gonna take once again 3 laps for the DRS to be enabled, and that gives us a chance to break that 1 second even easier. So the safety car has been great for us, and getting back to my point about strategy, that safety car has helped us, because now we will be making it to that first pit stop slightly easier. Ideally you go as long as possible, but then you get undercut probably, and if you go early then of course you're on worse tires towards the end of the Grand Prix. So yeah, this safety car has helped us slightly, extending that first hint, and decreasing the risk of getting undercut, and decreasing the risk of being on the worn tires in the end. So this was great news for us, and now we pull off into the distance in the next few laps. You can see purple
like 3 laps again
second
until we get to DRS, right?
As you can hear me ask about DRS, direct reduction system, and yeah, that means because it takes 3 laps, we can take it a little bit easy, you know. We've got time to break the DRS. We don't have to spend all our ERS in 1 lap in order to break it, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are just using the tire advantage to break that 1 second window, and yeah, Philip knows that. He didn't even try to stay in the DRS because there's no point.
Safety car again. What do we go for?
And yeah,
you can make the end on hards if you want.
as you can hear my engineer say, you can make the end on hards if you want.
Lap
and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bolt on the hards and aim for the one stop. 29 laps on a set of tires in this race. Now, for the regular F1 fans who are not that much into F1 esports, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in a 50% race, so we're doing a 36 lap race instead of
A lot of other
71
people well, so
or 72.
Yeah, I'll
And
update you all on everyone's tyres. Okay, so 6 ahead, you've got Shanika and Alfie on 7 lap old hards, Duncan medium, 5. So 3rd to 6th are all 5 lap old, Duncan, Jake, Bence, Daniel. Jake's the only one on softs, the rest were on medium.
So yeah, getting back to my point about the race distance, a 50% race has twice the amount of tire wear as a 100% race. So 29 laps on a set of tires is basically doing 58 laps on a set of tires. And at the end of lap 9, we're gonna get going again.
Philip Behind at a terrible start.
And yes, you can hear me say Philip Behind, terrible start, and that is important to us because we're gonna have to nurse these tires to the end of the race, but at the same time we have to get past these people ahead because there is a lot of people behind us on a brand new set of mediums that are gonna make another pit stop in this race, and we don't want to drop down the field. We need to make positions and save our tires, so we have to get to the end of the Grand Prix as fast as possible as well, of course, because those people that are doing an extra stop will get close to catching up. That's just how this game is, and that is gonna make this race very, very interesting. So Alvaro Carreton behind us now, he has managed to overtake Philip Schneider, and here in lap 11 we've still not managed to get past anyone as Daniel Kjeldsen sends it down the inside of Ben Sabukonyi. Alvaro does the same to us, and we had to leave just enough space there on the inside. Daniel goes for a little move again a sense from Alvaro down the inside, but again can't make it work because we've got more momentum on the outside and carry more speed on the exit. So let's see if we can go for a move into turn 1 here perhaps. We are sitting on 100% ERS, and I just wanted to wait a little bit until the tires are starting to go off because they're on the mediums ahead of me, older mediums than everyone behind me, and that means they are going to start dropping off the pace more than our hard tires. So try to go for a little move into turn 1, couldn't quite make it work as DRS is enabled now, so maybe that helps a little bit with overtaking, as on the next lap you can see we're going for it once again into turn 1, turn on the overtake button, and we're gonna keep it on all the way into turn 1 as we actually hit Benz there.
Keeps moving on the braking.
And now Daniel Kjeldsen goes on the attack on Ben Sabo Kodnyi. Luckily Benz didn't spin around with us hitting him. Had a little angel on our shoulder there because otherwise that would have been a slam dunk penalty. So I'm glad Benz didn't even notice it. We hit him there and managed to keep
What
it
lap
on
did the
the road.
safety car come in?
No front wing damage for us there as well. That was another little angel on our shoulder. Daniel sends it down the inside and spins Benz around in the next right hand there. Daniel was a bit aggressive beforehand as well with defending, but yeah, he was trying to make up positions as fast as he could, of course. He knew everyone behind was on older tires, or newer tires, sorry, and trying to make their way past. And he was the first one in this train on used tires, so he knew he had to be aggressive and trying to get to the front of the queue. So only props to him for trying. Unfortunately, he did get into a little incident there, and unfortunately for Benz as well. So lap 14 now. We are gonna once again try and get past Duncan ahead with the help of some battery usage, but Duncan knows this and is defending as well. Alfie Butcher in P3 on the hards. He has been on those since the very beginning as Jake goes in the attack on Shanika. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1.
They're gonna crash.
And they're almost crashing into each other as Alvaro actually nipped his front wing down the inside. I did not see that because I was trying to avoid a potential crash ahead of us. And now we once again go on the attack. We've almost run down our entire battery. Into turn 4 we go. And up to P3 we go. And now we've got Alfie Butcher and our teammate Jake Benham on the softs ahead of us. As I'm trying to kind of defend a little bit into the fast right-hander. I don't think anyone was really aiming to go on the attack, but or at least on the attack against me, but they were fighting each other and trying to get past each other, so didn't want to get into a potential incident there. Alfie on those old hearts, obviously struggling.
Alfie 40.
As you can hear our engineer say, Alfie on 40% battery, and
too hard.
we are gonna get past here, and then hopefully get past Jake straight away on the second straight. That will be the perfect scenario, and just pull off into the distance for a while saving tires, and then everyone behind us on softer tires will be dropping off steadily. So the first aim now is to get past our teammate Jake, and then break the 1 second window and then worry about tire wear. I've been saving a little bit in the early stages of the safety car restart, because I knew I wasn't going to get past them in the first few laps. It takes a while for these hards to start working relative to those medium runners. And yeah, now we are behind Jake. I'm not going to get past him in the middle sector, I'm just sitting behind. And then once we get DRS on the main straight, we bowled off into the distance, as Jake is just struggling for grip anyway at this point. So yeah, no point in getting past here and going side by side, losing both of us a bunch of time. So yeah, just waiting to the straight, and then we bolted off into the distance. Thomas behind us, first car actually on the new tires. He boxed in the first safety car, boxed again in the second safety car onto another new set of softs, and that has worked quite well for him, but not as well as our hard strategy. You can see we've cleared everyone who is going for a 2-stop or a 1-stop behind, or whoever did not box under the second safety car, I should say. And now we're gonna break away and kind of create a gap, a little bit of a cushion for later on in this Grand Prix, because we are gonna need it. I've gone for this strategy, and I'm always someone, if you go for a strategy, you have to fully go for it, not make any hesitation. So we are committing to this tire saving strategy and making it to the end. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It is risky, I know, but one thing is for sure, we have to aim to be safe of any punctures. If we do end up losing a bit of extra time trying to keep our tires on the 70%, our aim is to stay in the 70%, because that's where the potential puncture risk comes in. And you can hear my engineer say there, the aim or the prediction for now is 72%. So we need to lower it by 3% in the next 16 laps of this race in order to be completely clean of any chance of getting a puncture in this race. And yeah, that's what I want. I don't want to take any risk in the latter stages of this race.
The race a little bit.
We have a pit stop advantage. We're gonna use that pit stop advantage to save some tires, but the fact is they are gonna catch up, and they're gonna get very, very close, because new tires are such a big pace advantage on this game. We've seen it, especially in the Ironman League, where I boxed with 10 laps to go in the race and managed to catch up. So
yeah, none of the cars that have stayed out behind are a risk. They're all on hard, so Can in 4th and High in 6th are on hards. Everyone else is pit for mediums, shouldn't get anywhere near.
So yeah, lap 23 now. We've got Alfie Butcher, who's been on those tires since the very beginning, boxing at the end of lap 23 for a new set of mediums. And yeah, now we've got Kai Pearson and Chenna Kinsey. We're actually on the exact same strategy as us, but 5 seconds behind us, 4.5 seconds behind us. And then we've got Patrick Siepels and Jake Benham.
Only had 2% tire around the last few laps. The last two.
On mediums behind us, catching us very, very fast as Jake moves up to P4. It's basically a net P2, because they're definitely going to catch Kai and Chan. And the question is, will they catch us? They are catching us by over a second per lap. You can see it in the top left. Last lap, the gap was well over 10 seconds. And going through turn 1, 2, it was 9.2. At the end of lap 27, it was 7.7. So they gained 1.5 seconds in a single lap. Thomas now in P4 on an even fresher set of mediums relative to the rest.
I don't know, but they're definitely catching me, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, just checking.
And yeah, by the current calculations, we are not winning this race. They will be catching us in the final 2 laps.
Yeah, not seeing anything to overly concern from Mass. Still checking though.
They're on old mediums. They're currently 5th. Time last lap was a 1:10.3.
And yeah, still 1.2 to 1.3 seconds per lap is what Thomas is gaining. A 1:10.3 was actually the lap time from Jake. But that means that Thomas is doing a very
42.
similar lap time. However, Thomas still has to get past Chanakinsi and Kai Pearson here, and that might slow them down slightly. However, Thomas was on 42% battery there, and he has to get past P2, P3. We, however, are going to have a full battery by the time Thomas arrives, as Thomas has to get past this lap, 4 seconds behind us with 6 laps to go. That means he has to gain only 7 tenths per lap in order to get past us.
Yeah, tried to pass and failed.
If he does catch, he will get past, simply due to the DRS straight up to the line through the final corner. So Thomas 3.5 seconds behind, flashing, as you can hear my engineer say there, and 3.1 seconds, 5 laps to go.
He only gained like 3 times in the middle, I think so.
That means he only has to gain 6
Yeah,
tenths.
should definitely be level enough now, tyres, from what I've got.
In order to catch back up, but we have been saving our battery. We have been saving our tires for this exact scenario. We have been saving it so we can push towards the end of the race, and slowly we're going to start releasing this battery.
Okay, the gap behind is 3.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. Your last lap time was a 1:10.3.
High is 68.7.
And yeah, as you can hear my engineer say there, we have brought the calculation or the finishing average, finishing prediction, whatever you want to call it, down to 68.7%, and that means we can push slightly harder and bring it up to 70 and still be safe from a puncture. So the chance of your tire exploding at 70% is very low, but I just want to be completely safe, not take any risk, because championships are won by having decent results and not getting a DNF behind your name by taking a lot of risk race after race. So 2.3 seconds.
Don't
the
have
gap
his tyres are 3 laps older.
to Jake behind us, and there is 2 laps to go, and that means he has to gain 1.2 seconds in the next few laps, and we have been bringing up our pace in the last 5 to 6 laps. I've started to push harder and harder. I've started to empty my battery slowly and surely, and this was kind of my aim. Kind of lure them in to thinking they were going to catch me, and then push like a madman in the final 5 laps in order to kind of, you know, make them think they're going to easily catch, not worry about me, and then realize too late on that they're not catching. That was my whole aim here. 2.1 seconds is the gap.
Ishmael,
and
40.
We are draining our battery here. It's going to be 1 lap to go. They will have to gain 2.1 seconds, as they've not gained a single tenth in this last lap. The pace has been equal at 1:11.2. You can see we're going half a second per lap faster now than we did 10 laps ago, 5 laps ago, or 6 laps ago. As you remember when Thomas moved into an
19
FP2,
still using.
he was doing a 1:10.3. We were doing a 1:11.6. So a good improvement there, even though our tires are getting off. The guys behind us now are starting to gain as they're draining their battery, trying to get past each other. Ismail up to P2. That's not exactly what I wanted. I want him to finish further down the order, ideally, due to the fact he's our championship rival. But we have nursed these tires home to perfection. We even got some battery left. We even got some tire wear left to push if we needed it. But we're going to bring it home in a beautiful P1, a very well-controlled race. Strategic perfection Every decision made was spot on this race, and we're gonna bring it home in the P1 on 69% tires, 1% tire wear spare before the tire puncture risk, and it is 25 points. Jake moves up to P2. Thomas actually moves up to P3 just before the line, and that is exactly what we wanted to see. However, Thomas did get a penalty after the race, if I remember correctly, and that moves Ismail back up to P3. But Jake, from P15 on the grid up to P2, also great strategy for him. Boxed in the first safety car, didn't box into the second safety car, and that gained him so much track position that he managed to gain a lot of positions and keep those positions. So, yeah, phenomenal race. 25 points in the back, and that gains us 10 points to the championship leader, and that means we're only 6 points behind now going into Belgium next week. That gives us a huge confidence boost. We are on the chase, and we can't let go now. We gotta keep pushing in the next few races, keep gaining, and get the championship lead back, or actually get the championship lead for the first time, because we have not been leading the championship, if I remember correctly, once this season. So that is our aim from here. Hope you guys enjoyed this strategic masterclass around Brazil. Make sure to like and subscribe for more league racing content, and see you guys next time. Ciao.